Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Onair, which is a career mode that is available for X-Plane, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and a couple other simulators. So, when you first start up Onair, you have to choose a world you like to, be in. So there is, I'm just going to break it down as easy as I can. This is like the easy, super easy mode, where there's really not a whole lot of challenge. You're just going to go out there and fly, build a company. This one's going to be the happy medium, and this one's going to be more of the I want as real as I can get. Okay? So I do have two careers or two modes going on. One is my real one that I actually been using, which I actually have virtual airlines with fly intentions. And this other one, it was my test bed when I first started using Onair. So I'm going to enter into that world because I don't have a whole lot going on in there. So I kind of want you to see what it looks like. Okay. So one of the things people I think struggle with the most, including myself when I first jumped in, is how daunting this app seems to be. There's a lot of features, right? And realistically, just to get out there and start flying, it's pretty darn simple. So you can do it a couple different ways. The first way I'm going to show you is joining a route. Okay, so now it brings you to any airline you can dream of. That's, I think it's only current airlines, but any airline you can dream of for flights. Okay, so what you can do is you can generate an airline for the aircraft you're currently using in the sim, or you can, it will choose like a default one that's currently available to you. So what I want to do is do Alaska. Okay, so I'm going to do Alaska Airline. I'm going to click that little button. It's going to take a little bit to generate a actual schedule for you. Okay, so now it would list a bunch of the flights that would be available to you. So if I click this little button here, I know this makes no sense, but for the example, we're going to do the Cessna 172 Skyhawk. If you had, let's say, the 320 in there, or the 737, or even a CRJ, it would be able to have that aircraft for your flight. That's why I unchecked this here, compatible with my airspeeds, because I don't know if Alaska does anything that's compatible with the Seahawk. So anyways, this is a schedule it pulled up. You don't like that one? No problem. Generate another one. Okay, here's another one. So don't like that one? No problem. Click the button. And there we go. So let's say I want to do this one. Cincinnati to Chicago, Chicago to Detroit, Detroit to Chicago, Chicago to Cincinnati. And we have a whole list of 6 flights there. We can accept the schedule. And we can go flying. So we click this little button, prepare your flight. Now, if you have SimBrief, you enter in your SimBrief information. So here's my alias. And go ahead, go to SimBrief, set up your flight, and then click on import, and we'll import that information. And then you'd validate your fuel load, and then that's it. You start flying. So you'll click the little button that says start flying, and then you would start your flight. Okay, so that is one way to do it. That's with an airliner, or with an airline, sorry. Another way you can do it is by doing route jobs. Or sorry, that's what we just did. We're gonna go back home. Another way we can do it is going to charter jobs. Now, charter jobs will be from location that you picked. So I'm currently in Minneapolis, and here's my requirements: 100 to 200 nautical miles. We'll query that, and it will pull up routes that are available. Now, these are also listing routes that have things that I'm not able to do. If I check this little button here, it will get rid of things I can't do, such as right now, I can't do dangerous material, right? And I don't know if I can do passengers yet on this flight or not. But actually, I think it tells you right here. The ones you can't do are the ones with the exclamation marks. So I can do passengers. So that's a way to do another flight as well. So you just click the little button. You've accepted that job. It's now in your pending. And now you can go fly. So that's all it takes. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. So we can do start a flight. It will tell you there's an aircraft currently available at the airport IM. So we have the Seahawk available. We'll click that one. Brings us to the same screen you saw just moments ago. Cool, right? Okay, and a third way you can do flights. Yes, there are many ways to do flights. We can go into, we go back to pending actually, and we go to freelance. Freelance is really cool because freelance, you click on, once you're in the simulator, so in this case, if let's say we're in Microsoft Flight Simulator, as long as we have an aircraft that we want to fly loaded into the sim, not loaded at the aircraft or at the airport, but just loaded in the sim. So you'd go to select your aircraft, select your livery, you have an aircraft loaded in the sim. Now we click this little button, it would list a bunch of jobs that are available for that aircraft that I can fly. And I don't have to rent that aircraft, I don't have to lease that aircraft, I don't have to buy that aircraft. I can just go flying, which is really, really cool. And you earn XP as well for that. So let's talk about that XP real quick. So if we go over to skill tree, skills tree is what you use your XP for. So as you slowly do more and more flights, depending on the world you chose, you can unlock additional stuff. So remember earlier when I said I couldn't do dangerous stuff? Well, I have one skill point currently available. I can assign that to dangerous goods if I want to. Actually, I can't because that takes 2. But I could assign it to, let's say, nothing right now, actually, because everything takes 2. But if I had 2 skill points, I can then get dangerous jobs and click save, and I would have that now available in the jobs, right? Okay, so let's go into an employees. Actually, we're going to go into aircrafts first. In my aircrafts, it will list aircrafts you are currently renting or are leasing. The leased ones is from the airline that I had chose, right? The freelance one is, well, exactly from the freelance mission. In here, you can do check rides for those aircrafts, right? So if I do manage and check ride, I can do a check ride for the A320, which means eventually, when I have the money, I can rent and lease an Airbus A320 and do charter flights with that aircraft. It will now be available. Kind of similar to like the skill stuff, right? Okay, so how do you know what license you currently have? Well, we go to My Employees, and here's, well, employees that are working for the airline I have. I go over to Manage, and here's Little Joe, and here's what I'm currently approved to fly. So jets and single engine pistons. That's pretty crazy. I went from a single engine right to a jet. Pretty smooth, aren't I? And here's the character I built. So in this screen, you can also do another thing. You can transport. So I can go now to a different airport. So let's say I'm currently in Minneapolis. I want to go to San Francisco. I type in KSFO. It will tell me we can do that, but it's going to take 3 hours and 21 minutes. And that's real time. So let's say you can't fly for another 4 or 5 hours. Well, do this beforehand. And then by the time you are able to fly, you'll be at that airport you want to be at. Along with that, you can look at your balance sheet. So how you're currently doing financially. Pretty simple stuff. And you can look at your flight logs. So for this, I don't have any flights currently done. If you want to join a virtual airline, you sure can do that as well. So I can apply for virtual airline. And here are all the airlines that are available. By joining a virtual airline, you then have the capability to use their aircrafts. And I'm going to show you that next with my other world I've created. So we back out and we enter into Onair start page. We go to my other world. Now this is on the extreme difficulty because the Say Intentions VA is only on this world, the Thunder world. So now here's my Thunder world. Here's what I've done several different flights. I've done 8 total flights. I have 2 pending. But if I go over here to, what was I going to show you? My aircrafts, yes. Forgot what I was doing. It will list all the aircrafts that the virtual airline has. And within here, I can take check rides for any of those aircrafts as well. Now, you also got to keep in mind, you have to be at that location to do a check ride. Okay, so here's all the locations that are these planes are at. I would have to move where I am to do a check ride for that aircraft. I can also move an aircraft from one location. So here it's in New York. I can ferry it over to another location if I want to fly that plane somewhere else. I can also swap it out for another aircraft. So all kinds of options. But I do hope this helps a little bit. I'm very new at Onair. I've only used it for about 3 days worth, and it's a lot of buttons, a lot of clicking, a lot of figuring out things, and it can be daunting at first, but stick with it. And I think it's a phenomenal piece of software. It combines something like NeoFly and a pilot's life into one amazing piece of software. And I think once you get involved with it, you're going to get so addicted to it, and you're going to want to build your company within it. So leave me some comments down below what your favorite career add-on is and what you're hoping for from Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Of course, give me that thumbs up, and we'll see you for the next video. Take care.